Ain't nobody got me feeling like I'm feeling you. Like I'm feeling you. Like I'm feeling you.
I'm Carrie.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to Sexy, Unique,
Simba.
Teton.
Pumpheads!
Okay, the final part of the reunion, season 11. And, you know, it honestly feels like it's could be the end for good.
It's definitely
I know,
not.
I'm just saying that. But with the pause, everything being on hold, it does feel like more final than it's ever felt.
I think it's really good to take a beat. My hot take is that they need to fire most of the producers and they need to recast the entire production team and then come into next season with like a really fresh new approach and perspective from a production standpoint.
My hot take is Civil War should be declared, and it should be the next season, the cast versus the production.
I agree.
Like, I want, like, you know, constant breaking the wall, like at the end of the San Francisco episode where there's like, I want that going on in every single episode. That is the next evolution in reality TV, especially this format of VPR. We're done. There's no, Sandoval was the end. There's no more, it can't go any, it's reached its pinnacle at this point. Nothing's going to happen that's going to be that juicy or fun or like.
But it might.
Well,
It might.
All right.
Please.
I'm taking the stance that it won't.
Okay.
Right
well,
now.
I'm keeping an open mind and
all right.
feeling like.
Well, let me just finish my thought.
Okay.
So because I don't think it's going to reach that peak again, now war needs to happen. We got to go to war. And I think the cast needs to like be in battle with the production. And I want to see it happening. I want a production crew to film the production crew filming. I want to see.
We need to have production crew as cast members on the show, and then a separate production crew filming the reality show that's taking place between the current production crew and the cast.
I want it to be like the movie Civil War. I want to see like Kiki Dunce on boots on the ground, like war photography. Like, I want to see shaky.
They're like,
cameras.
we're making our way towards Sir.
Yeah,
Can
like,
I join you? And then they're gonna go to Sir and kill Lisa.
Yeah, or just like, you know, that to me is where it needs to go now.
They're going to go to NBC Universal headquarters.
Yeah.
And fucking kill the CEO.
Maybe. But I'm just like, I need to see that. That's what I'm like, we've, to me with this, maybe they need a different cast. I don't know. But with this cast specifically.
I don't think the cast needs to be
different.
I truly took away from this because I was like, wait, this entire time I've been blaming the cast members like for being like flops, which I still think they flop a bit. I still think they don't really understand anything. But then I realized they might understand a little more than I give them credit for. And the real flops are actually the production team.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why over the course of this episode.
Let's start.
Bruv, I'm fucking galloping so far ahead of you. I'm in the distance, bruv. Bruv, brother.
You know, you can't even see me, man. You see my dust, bruv. You're in the back.
You were fine keeping your mouth shut when you became Graham's daddy.
Daddy. I like when he says eat it. I like when Sandoval goes, you fucking eat a dick. And you see Andy go. Sandoval was so sexual. He kept making like.
Sandoval?
Yeah, he kept making like little sexual innuendo jokes.
Some of them were funny. And then some of them were like, you're annoying.
Yeah. Some of them gave me the ick.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
It was funny to see Andy, like which ones he loved and then which ones he like didn't respond to.
He didn't love Eat a Dick.
No. They talk about Worm with a mustache and Lisa goes, did you sell a t-shirt? And James is like, yeah, mate, sold t-shirts. Then everyone made them and took away my profits.
Why did I not get a t-shirt?
Did you sell a t-shirt?
To her credit, Nana woke up in this episode.
She woke up for a shining 30 seconds.
She came in with some good moments, though.
She was lucid. Like, the meds kicked in, and she did 30 to 45 seconds of, like, true lucid thoughts, and then went back into a fugue state.
Well, see, I kind of left this episode being like, Lisa's still in charge at the end of the day.
She's pulling strings, that's for sure.
Did you make a t-shirt?
They talk about Ariana's resentment towards Sandoval and how people were like, you've got to let go of resentment. Andy's like, Lala, you said that resentment is like taking poison, hoping the other person dies. And James goes, that's fucking poetic, mate. That's like Shakespeare. I was like, that's an AA thing.
It's an AA thing, but also James, he just loves Lala.
Lala. Poetry, mate.
Ariana does say, she goes, you know, if in a year from now I'm still in this state that I was in 3 months after when we were filming the show, or even now, like that's when I'm like, okay, I have to get myself right.
Fair.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the break is actually like a good thing, because it's seemingly under the guise that she's going to be out of a place of Zool and more in a place of lulls and can just at least play ball without having to be literally shown footage of people talking shit about her to get a fucking shred of emotion out of her. So I'm like for it, break wise.
Okay.
They talk about Jax coming for Sandoval.
Andy said classic. It was a classic Jax Sandoval interaction. And goes, I just love it. He comes in 30 seconds in and just has Sandoval in a tizzy.
Just fucking railing him. I love everyone in the world.
The world. I just love it. That was honestly top 2 moments of the season, was when Jax came in and just fucked with everyone and just got everyone. He turns everyone into like gelatin.
Jax telling you that the world has talked shit about you. Can you imagine anything worse?
But no one gets Sandoval more annoyed than Jax.
And also Sandoval being like, every time I've seen a man, like I say something nice or like congratulate him on something, so it's just fucked up, man. And it's like, yeah, that's your whole deal. You do nice things as blackmail for hoping that other nice things will happen to you, but that's not how like personal relationships work.
Sandoval's DOS collateral.
His collateral is literally doing like acts of service to you, being like, when I kill a man, you're gonna support me. And it's like, no.
Wait, but Sandoval's also been shitting on Jax for a decade.
Yeah.
He always has talked shit. But I think him and Jax and
they
him
love to hate each other.
But they've known each other the longest, and they know more than anyone where the bodies are buried. So they have this like, he gets like molecularly under Sandoval's skin. Like it's like no one can get under his skin more, because Sandoval knows that Jax knows, in quotes. You know?
Katie says she heard rumors about Jax online.
She goes, yes, of course I've seen it online. She goes, about him and cheating on Brittany, but she goes, I don't know anything concrete.
Nothing concrete.
Nothing concrete, just things online.
Affairs in the bathroom,
she goes,
maybe? Going in the bathroom?
She goes, I don't know, waitress?
Waitress, you go in, the slam in the bathroom? But I don't know. Who's to say?
She goes, you put the little latch on?
Put the latch, get down on the floor?
Get down on the floor?
Put some toilet paper down on the floor?
She goes, maybe there's a little rug on the floor? You know, like a little, like in a pizza parlor. A little rug, little bath mat kind of rug. You put it down on the floor? The girl can go on her back, or the guy.
She could ride him. That way her knees only touch. She wouldn't get as dirty. He should be the mat. She should ride on the floor.
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
Spare your legs.
So I heard.
Spare your knees.
It was all over the internet. Online.
I saw the videos.
Scheana was pissing me off this episode though, because she truly was in such a people pleasing place. I was like, girl,
Please.
I'm fucking over you.
I literally saw Sierra right before this. Like she was outside and we went in, and I said, I feel like I need to like take accountability for my like blind Scheana praise. Scheana, at the end of this episode, I was like, damn, you are the worst of them all.
She's the worst of them all.
She's really, at the end, there is no Scheana there.
No, she's
Scheana
erased
Shay?
herself. I was like, this person, nothing she says means anything.
No.
And he goes,
no
hey,
spine.
Scheana, have you heard anything like online? She goes, well, I think I heard from Katie, but there's no way he would do that to Brittany because like she has his passwords and everything. And they're like, it doesn't matter. It's not like they're texting. She's like, they're not texting. They're fucking on the bathroom floor. What?
She goes, He caught me on the she goes, caught me on the bathroom floor. I can
She goes, picture this, they were both butt naked, hanging, banging on the bathroom floor. That's how it was. There was no text. Come on.
But I was like, Scheana, you are such like I was almost like I knew this about her. We've known, but
I did too. But
I
it
had
really
to stand her because she was like for a while it felt like Scheana was the only one bringing the sort of camp,
like raw delusional camp that I crave.
and I delusion and like I almost like Riley in my head was like it almost felt like ironic standing. But now I'm like I can't even do that anymore because I'm just like stand for something.
She stands for nothing.
You stand for nothing.
If you don't stand for anything, you'll stand for something. You'll fall for anything or whatever the fuck they say.
Exactly.
Have one opinion and just stand by that opinion and see what happens.
And even Lala fucking she at the end like was like, you know, backing herself into a corner, but like at least she was living her truth and like she had an opinion. I didn't fully agree with her on everything, but like she had an opinion.
Yeah. And what I like about Lala is that Lala will come in hot and she'll speak her truth and maybe at times do too much of that. But she's also self-reflective. Yeah. And she'll come back after the fact and be like, all right, like that was like a little fucked up, or like she'll honor that maybe she wasn't all right in that moment, but I like that she kind of just goes for it.
But Scheana doesn't go. Scheana is so, and like
Sheena's living in fear.
I think I maybe am triggered by it, especially because I've had to battle that myself, even though I think I feel like
you're much better than Scheana.
No, I know, but
nowhere near. No, I know,
but I'm just saying, like, it's that people pleasing is ultimately backed by narcissism. People pleasing is like it's very self-serving, and it's not like when you people please. And I'm saying this as a people pleaser. A lot of times you're doing it for self-preservation, and it's not about the other, like wanting to make the other person happy. It's about wanting you to be safe,
needing you to feel good,
and you to be safe, and like you to be like maintain your whatever comfort you have. And it's something that like I battle with, and like I see Scheana, but she's
like, I finally understood. I finally understood the reason that people don't like Scheana.
Yeah, I do now. Me too. And now when I'm like, why did she look at us with such disdain when we saw her last year? Now I'm like, good.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I don't give a fuck.
The one time she took a stand, looking at us weird.
The one time she took a stand,
looking at us, but then people pleased again.
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly what I had to say to her to get her back on our side.
What'd you say?
I said, like, thank you so much. Like, we're obsessed with you. That's all it takes.
Well,
Andy's
also
like,
James. Wait, we forgot to talk about James being like, Andy being like, James, you talked about the ultimate betrayal with Sandoval, and he goes, yes, mate, the ultimate betrayal, him fucking my ex-fiance, mate. And then James is like, I feel like I've always been, Sandoval's never given me sort of like, he's never seen me as a peer. I've always been this like annoying little gnat brother of his when like, and Sandoval's like, you know, man, like, you know, you're not like with me and Schwartz, like that's a different level, man, of friendship. But like I did see you as a close friend. He goes, and every time I saw you, I'd pay you at least 2 compliments and a pat on the back. That's
a thing. Fuck that. Who cares?
And I'm like, why are you
keeping track?
Why are you keeping track? You fucking suck.
It's crazy to be like, every time I saw you, I gave you 2 compliments and a pat on the back.
It's weird.
That's weird. That's transactional friendship. Yeah. That's not real.
But you're not like, you know, you're not like. And then Santa was like, all right, yeah, I apologize. He's like, and he's like, do you feel sorry at all for being like, you fucked Kristen in my bed? To James, and he goes, yeah, man, I shouldn't have done that. That was bad.
He's such a fucking scumbag.
No accountability.
No empathy. They ask Schwartz about Brittany and Jax, like, what do you think about them? And he's just as bad as Scheana.
Oh, for sure.
She's like, yeah, I think they just stopped bringing out the best in each other. I was like,
yeah, you know.
But I was in Kentucky with them just now, and they were great. I was like, what were you doing in Kentucky? They were like at a convention. I was freaked out. I don't know. I saw like the lanyards with like. They were in a
Schwartz is
place
such
of
a convention-
lanyards at the convention.
Schwartz is such a ballroom convention guy.
They were in a place of ballroom convention pictures, and I was like, "This is
Christian?
cursed." Huh?
Christian?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Lala says that Brittany was so out of pocket with her mom on the day of her gender reveal and called her mom like yelling at her for using the same babysitter.
Brittany called Lala's mom and was like, Lala posted a video where she was doing the gender reveal and like their babysitter was in the video, and Brittany was like, "What are you doing with the same babysitter?" She goes, "How dare you?
Why'd you take my nanny?
Why'd you take my nanny?" She goes, "Jax is yelling at me, so now I'm in trouble with him too."
And Lala's like, "Put Jax on the phone so I can fucking set his ass straight."
And she
Jax
goes,
just berates Brittany, and then Brittany goes and berates everyone else. It's the same old shit we've been seeing for years.
and then she goes, and I'm getting, my mother's getting, she goes, my 63-year-old mother's getting yelled at by the Kentucky Muffin. And she goes, "Why did she do that?" And she inexplicably has like and it was like, "Are you imitating Lisa right now?"
She goes, "Are you serious?
"Are you serious?"
And Lisa goes, "That's my name for her."
Oh,
And I woke up.
Yeah.
Lala needs to fucking chill though when it comes to like her baby shit. Like contextualizing everything with like your experience
We got
having
it.
yeah.
You're the first person
to ever get pregnant
You're
and
the
have a
first
baby.
person
You're
in
the first
history-
single mother to
the first
ever exist.
ever do it alone. And you're sober. Wow. Congratulations.
Enough, please. It's very like it's also very narcissistic, and it is a bad way to argue. Like what would be a better argument is just to say, "How dare you?" It's not even like that kind of stuff it's not doing what she thinks it's doing, which is like garnering more sympathy from like an audience or an audience even of her peers. It's like it's crazy enough for someone to call your mom and scream at them thinking about using the same babysitter.
That's crazy.
Like, that's crazy.
You don't have to bring it into like
It doesn't have to have anything to do with like
my being a mother.
me finding out that I'm having a daughter that day, and then later in the day, maybe 1 hour later, you called my mom. It's like, leave it out of the story.
Just feel like she yelled at my mom and I didn't like it.
That's enough.
I know, as a dink, I'm and
As
I know,
an oink.
and I say this like, and I'm sure like again, yes, and I acknowledge I will never know. I don't have kids. Like I'm well aware. It's a whole other like. I give credit and respect to everyone I know who has kids, truly. But I'm tired of like living in a world where like if you don't have kids, you're like you don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and I'm also,
Shut
like,
up. Shut up. I
Having
don't know.
kids
I
is
don't know.
It
I made
is
a choice.
miraculous. It's like
Of
a
course.
cool, miraculous,
Great.
amazing thing. But at the same time, literally like everyone does it. So like get the fuck out of here. Who
We've
cares?
been doing it for a million years.
Yeah, that's like how we all got here.
Yeah.
So like get over it.
We get it. I'm happy for you, but like it doesn't
doesn't make your problems more important than my problems.
But it does
to them.
But it's
But I'm a proud oink.
I'm a proud dink.
That's my name for her.
That's my name for her.
They talk about my least favorite place in the entire United States of America, the Belmont.
Oh yeah, they're like, "Why is the Belmont good for shitting, Schwartz?" And he's like, and then Scheana goes, "In that back room?" She goes, "What's back there? Why is that so good back there?"
The only thing Scheana can take a stand on is that bathroom isn't the best bathroom for shitting in.
She goes, "I don't think that is." And then Schwartz is like, I'm not poop shy, but it just feels good to be able to just go in there in peace." And Lisa goes, "Oh, let's not talk about
You've
this."
pooped in there?
She goes, "I've never pooped a
Then
day
goes,
in my
oh,
life."
shit in there. I was like, you guys are such loser. The fact that like
I'll shit in there, man. I don't
the
even
fact
care.
that I like even know this about two men.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've made a series of poor decisions in my life to be here speaking on this.
Do you think
right
they
now.
poop in the same toilet? And
You
then
know
flush
what?
together?
No, but
Okay.
I think when I was in high school at boarding school, we had a bathroom that had like 3 toilet stalls, 3 sinks, and 3 showers. And sometimes we'd go in and poop together and just chat
All right.
during a poop.
That's fair.
Sometimes you just had to chat.
Yeah.
The stalls didn't lock. You just chatted.
Not at that school.
Not at that school.
You were making lemonade out of no locks.
We're making fudge.
And then
they talk about Sandoval blocking Summer Moon.
he goes, I blocked everyone. It's so easy. And then you see a shot of Summer Moon. You hear music like, ah. And he goes, I didn't block Summer Moon, man. I blocked everyone affiliated with Scheana's account. And then Brock's like, I'm still blocked.
He goes, sup, man, you're blocked. I'll unblock you, man. And LVP goes, blocking Summer Moon.
Just blocking Summer Moon.
Not Summer Moon.
Not her.
Okay, Brock also does not know what he's talking about regarding like Scheana and Ariana's friendship.
Yeah, what's with all this scorekeeping too? Like, he's like, a 15-year friendship versus a 10-year. It's like, shut up. Like, it doesn't matter. When you're an adult, it like doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's nice to have friendships that like stretch. Like, I have friendships from when I was a kid, like whatever.
Yeah, that lasts a long
But,
time.
like,
but after like 5 years, you're like, we've been friends a long time.
Scheana and Brock are so stupid that they like keep score of like,
They're like, well, we've been friends for 6 years and 5 months. And she goes, and that means that priority is not a priority over someone who has a friendship for 9 years and 7.
you know what I mean? It's like they're like middle schoolers in so many ways.
What I do like is that he always has Sheena's back.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I think
That's
that
fair.
he's a very supportive husband in that way. But I'm also like, Brock, you were in fucking New Zealand beating your wife up. When this show was in the fucking trenches and Scheana was getting shit on and like abused by every single person on this show except for her friend Ariana. Like, Ariana's been there for her.
She has.
And Ariana and Tom were aligned, and so then they were both riding really hard for Scheana.
Ariana was always there for her. Ariana like stuck by her through some.
She was her fucking backup dancer at the Roxy. Like,
Yeah.
she's been out here in these streets battling for Shishu. So like, now that she's having her moment and she's a little bit busy filming
They're mad.
Battery, it is, and Scheana is like really jealous and mad.
She's a jealous hater.
I love the flashback of Scheana going, why can I never have one moment where it can be about me? It
I was like, Scheana.
was like, that's her entire life summed up in one sentence.
Scheana's, she's, it's like a very, like, there's a huge part of the population that their waking thought is, why are you doing this to me?
Scheana's entire life for
It's,
the
why
past,
are you doing this to me?
it was a little less, and then Sandoval put it into high gear, which is, why are you doing this to me? This is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through.
Yeah. And then we get a replay of Scheana being like, you said that you believe that Sandoval is more upset about losing you as a friend than Ariana. Than losing, and Scheana goes,
Yeah, I think it's true.
deluge.
She's suffering from
I don't think Sandoval,
absolute delusion.
I think Sandoval was like, I think he was probably, he wanted out of that relationship, of course, but I think he was like probably more upset about the demise
think
of that than
upset
Scheana-
about a lot of things.
But Scheana just, of classic Scheana just being like,
He's most upset about me.
it's me he's saddest about. It's me he looks in the mirror and mourns every day.
it's crazy. But I mean that, but see, that is the delusion I crave from her. So like, I do love it, but at the same time, I'm like annoyed with her.
Yeah, but it's also like, own it. It's if you're jealous, say like
I'm
in that
jealous.
moment. But she's so afraid.
Lala
She
basically
literally is
said,
like
"I'm jealous."
shaking in fear.
Yeah. Well, when they showed the footage, Sheena's face, I took photos.
Sheena's gagged.
When they surprised
Scheana
them,
knows it's curtains for her after this footage.
Sheena's face she was truly so upset that the minute they start rolling the footage and you hear Scheana being like,
This is honestly like what I've been talking about.
and you see Scheana go like this. When she like kind of looks over at Ariana and she's like, ah.
Yeah, she was in a place of fuck.
He goes, we're gonna roll the footage. We didn't show you guys this year, and then everyone's like, here we go, the footage now. I'm beginning.
Well, see, Scheana, I think when she's like, I wasn't jealous, I just like wanted. That's someone who killed a man.
I know.
That's someone who the FBI is like, well, we're running DNA tests and we'll know the results in 48 hours.
Oh.
That's the murderer's face. She knows I just wanted to be on the journey with her, which is very Hollywood coded.
What do you mean?
Like, I think Scheana thinks that like it's like I think she thinks as soon as Ariana experienced this like skyrocketing fame that it's gonna be like Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. She's gonna be like, "Come on, Scheana, let's go!" Like you and it, like she's gonna buddy system bring her up with her, and it's like you're a fucking adult. You're a wife and you have a child. This is a person in a whole different realm. Like this is adulthood in the adult world, taking like your career by the balls and like getting opportunities and just running with them. And you just want runoff success, and you expect to just get you expect to be given the runoff.
Yeah, and it's like honestly, at the end of the day, no matter how good of friends you are with someone, when it comes to like fame and stuff, it's every man for himself. And they're always gonna choose themselves. And that's fine. That's like human. But Scheana was like literally wanted to be like,
it's also like she got a boost. Her podcast is like charting now. Like she got a great
she was in a Chili's
boost.
ad.
Literally everyone associated with any sort of Sandoval except for Raquel, the one person who did not see a cent out of it.
I know.
Like even this podcast, like
we bet,
Sandoval
but we were open
runoff.
about it.
Yeah, but like Sheena's gotten like she should be grateful for getting what she did, and also understand it's like you're on a different fucking path. You're Scheana.
You have a kid.
You live in Marina Del Rey. You have this husband.
That's
like,
great.
You're doing your thing, but like this is just someone else doing something different, and you're mad that it didn't happen to you.
Yeah, I want to go. What more do you want? And I
and
think
Lala is too.
They're both mad. And here's the thing about Lala. I'm gonna say it. My thing with Lala is she was always really entertaining. Okay, but unfortunately, I'm gonna say this as a sober person: sober people are boring.
They should be boring.
They're boring
for the most part.
Yeah, you want to be boring, but I'm saying
stabilize.
You want to stabilize, but I'm like, I would not be good on a reality show because I'm fucking boring and I don't do anything. I literally just sit at home and watch like TNT shows. Okay. With my husband and our Cavalier. And I love that, but like that's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun for me, but it's not fun for anyone else. And like Lala, unfortunately, is not like, she's boring now, and that's fine. She has 2 kids on the way. She is a homeowner. She owns 2 houses. She's doing great for herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's sober. She's getting herself out of a really bad situation with a bad guy. Okay. And like, that's all really compelling. And I celebrate that for her, but I'm also like, she's having a hard time reckoning not being like the hot young thing anymore. When she was in her 20s and was like doing blow and talking about like sucking dick for planes, that was like fun and compelling. But at the end of the day, she's like, there's not much to her as a reality star. I'm going to say that. And that's probably like, you know, maybe I'm being too harsh, but like, I think she's having a hard time being like, I'm not that anymore. And like, I have a expiration date on this sort of fame.
Well, she's
when
also
she can find something else that is more like where she is in her life, and she can leverage the notoriety she has. But this sort of trajectory that she's on of being like on a reality show where like it's about like a friend group, I don't care. I don't want to watch a sober person, and I say this as a sober person. I don't want to watch you like juggle being a mom with like your brother and mom living in the same apartment complex. You know, like I don't really care, and like I'm done. I'm bored. And she knows that too, because I think she's pretty self-aware and savvy, and she's having a really hard time with it. And she sees Ariana, you know, and I understand it must be like, damn, like I was doing way more than Ariana was for a while.
Well, also, I think that oh, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Like it's boring to watch someone that's not messy.
She also has had and continues to have a much different relationship to like fame and fame seeking and like notoriety than Ariana has. Like Lala came into this show wanting to be famous, like being like, I'm a fucking yacht girl. Like, I'm a model. I'm dating a guy. Like, we don't know his name. I drive a fucking Range Rover. Like, she was playing the cards as like, I'm going to rise the ranks and be like the most famous person on this show.
I'm going to go headbutt the hostess at a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm going to headbutt like a trans woman.
Like, she was going.
And live to tell the tale.
Like, she was. And like, I'm going to like walk into a studio of like black producers and be like, hey, brothers.
And be like, what up, my homies?
You know, like she was like that. And we were all like, oh, Jesus.
Like,
but she committed to the
on a
bit.
cross. But like, I think that she now has to reckon with the decisions she made in pursuit of that were misguided. It didn't do what she thought it was going to do.
And that's okay. You were in your 20s.
Yeah,
it's
but she's also in a place that I think is a little bit like addiction coded, where she keeps bemoaning like the unfairness. Like she said over and over, like, it's so unfair. Like, this is unfair. That's unfair. And it's like, babe, life is fucking unfair.
Yeah, she's mad. She's like, I didn't get the same grace that Ariana got.
And it's like you like have this grudge over like, this person wasn't treated exactly like how I was treated, like blah blah blah. And it's like, well, it's a totally different circumstance. You guys are different people. You have different relationships to this show. You had different relationships with your two chosen partners. Like, you were shady from the fucking jump.
You lied about your relationship.
You lied about this relationship. You were
dating
shady,
a married man.
And you did dictate when she's like, I never got to dictate.
Yes,
I was
you
like,
did.
you
You
dictated that
produced
no
it.
one could even say his name for 2 years.
You said my man for 24 months. You were literally like lying through your teeth about this relationship, which is
fine.
That's fine. That's your prerogative. But don't sit there and pretend that Ariana like did anything different than you did.
She's mad about the consequences of her own actions not lining up to what she thinks and expected them to be. And I get it. Like,
and I get it
that
too.
There's a grief process in that. There's a grief process in getting older and realizing like you get to a certain maturity and you're like, fuck, like things didn't work out the way that I thought they were going to work out. And like, I am sad about that. And like, that sucks. And it's like not fair sometimes, but you get the fuck over it.
But she is blaming Ariana.
It's a huge projection.
It's not even about
it has
Ariana.
Nothing to do with Ariana and everything to do with Lala and her own life choices.
And she's just another person that is like, I deserve to be famous, and I deserve this, and I deserve to be like an act, and it's like living in this town, it's hard, and I get it, and like, but she needs to get over it, and she needs to, and you know what, and I think why her sobriety always was like, ugh, with me is because, and I understand why, she's in a group of people that were like all about binging, and I want to see that.
Toxic.
They were
bunch.
toxic with their relationship with like partying and substances. It must be really hard, and I understand that Lala had a lot of strength to go in and be like, stay true to her mission to stay sober and be abstinent from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I give her a lot of credit for that. I do, especially on this fucking show.
It's hard.
Where it's a bunch of basically alcoholics raging through Los Angeles, and it's really hard. And she was going through this horrible thing, blah. But she kind of did the blunder that I think a lot of sober people do who aren't being filmed. And this is just my opinion. When you hold your sobriety over people and are self-righteous about it, which I think she was in a lot of ways, it's fucking annoying. And, it doesn't
make you a better person
make you a better
than anyone
person.
else.
And that's not going to make people want to get sober. They're going to see that and be like, that person's fucking annoying and self-righteous. You're supposed to just lead. You're supposed to just do your own thing. And she always, and I think she had some really great points about like James and like some people's relationship. And like, she did make some really salient points that only a sober person could make, but she held it over everyone's head a little. And she shouldn't deny that and say she didn't, but she did. And that's fucking annoying to watch. And that's why I was kind of like, ugh, all right, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Sandoval and, if the minute he gets sober, I'm done with him too. I don't, because it's like, I'm
kind of not, because he's so fucking insane.
But it's not, or like,
he's high on his own supply. Like, he'll never truly be sober. He would have to lose his face in order to be sober. Like, you just have to be like full skin over his head.
Maybe.
What I was watching last night with Sierra, and she was like, Lala's playing this so wrong. Like, if she played her cards right, like, she should be buddying up to Ariana, being like ride or die besties and go Ciabatta Maloney style, and then be like collaborating on like a sober, like she was like they should do like a recipe book for like sober drinks or something.
She should start like a sober bar.
Yeah, like next door to their thing.
That would like there's so many things she could be doing, and because I'm saying I know she's a smart person. Lala.
It's I think easier to be. It's easier and more simplistic to be a hater and resentful of someone else
than to see it and let it inspire you to be like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get exactly what this person gets, but what they're getting is inspiring me to like put myself out there. And
I've also gotten something out of this too. And like, then also be like, well, what is my anger and resentment and what are those feelings like it say about me and like my relationship to whatever this person is doing or has or whatever.
Yeah.
And then how do I get the fuck over it and then figure out a way to like use it to my advantage?
And how can I monetize my sobriety where it's like interesting to watch?
Yeah. And like, how do I just like get down? Like, how do I pivot and then find a way to like get down with people instead of just being like a hater? But I think it comes into, and we'll get there, like I think production comes into this a lot too. So
Andy's like, we're going to roll the footage.
Well, no, they first, girl. Always skipping.
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval versus Katie, they like talk about their relationship and how he like talks shit about Katie all the time. And all the flashbacks honestly did make me cringe because he was so disrespectful to her in front of her own husband, which feels like...
Well, Sandoval never defended her in front of him. He always took his side.
Schwartz, you mean?
Schwartz.
Yeah, but I'm like, I would not feel comfortable... Like, even if I didn't like a dear friend's partner or spouse, like, I don't think I would feel comfortable
going after
them in front of like my friend.
I think there's a little.
What?
I think Sandoval has an interesting relationship with women.
What? Like he hates women?
Yeah.
He doesn't respect women.
He has no respect for women.
No respect.
No, and no empathy. And I think he sees it's easier to Katie at the time too. She was not in her like bins era, so she was like a little fragile because she was being fucking her succubus by incubus.
She hadn't stepped into her fucking
power,
Ciabatta truth,
and that's okay. But it took her a minute to get there. And Sandoval was like, she was like an easy person,
a really
to shit
easy
on.
target.
And Sandoval always took the opportunity because at the end of the day, he's a fucking hateful piece of shit.
I love when he said something to Katie, and she goes, "I don't know, choke. I don't care."
He goes, the way you speak to people, he's like, you just have to like why do you feel so like okay with it?
It's like, you think you speak to people nicely?
And she goes, I don't know, choke, whatever.
I don't care.
She doesn't give a shit about him anymore.
I love it. Yeah. It's true powerful. So then Andy asks Ariana about Dan going to San Francisco and not filming with everyone.
Yeah.
And he is clearly it's trying to like set her up to kind of like look bad in this moment or whatever. And he goes, well, he came to San Francisco, but like he wouldn't film with anyone. Yeah. And like he went and did his own thing. Why is that? And she goes, well, he's not getting paid. And then you can see Andy's like gagged for a second. And then he goes, but he's still your boyfriend. And he goes, Brock didn't get paid at the beginning, and he was still around. I was like, not a great example.
Yeah, Brock was willing to do anything.
And Ariana goes, different strokes for different folks. He doesn't want to be on this show. And I was like...
Andy was like...
She gagged his ass. I also was like, it is wild to think that a show that's been running for 11 seasons has... experienced the best ratings of any Bravo show ever, has continued to have a season of
millions
off the charts
Yeah.
ratings, probably drove so many people to getting a Peacock subscription so they could binge Vanderpump Rules. Like the financial windfall this has had for the parent company.
And they can't pay people.
And you're telling me they can't muster up $1,000 a day for Dan to just go to lunch? That's fucking crazy.
Comrades, let's get it poppin'.
I was furious when I heard that.
Yeah.
And then I thought about
Peter.
Justice for Peter.
Peter,
a cast member from
day one.
Day one.
One of the first people we ever saw on the show. Like literally the manager of this
who
man
also he's a flop, but he's funny. And the dates that he went on with Raquel were a pivotal part of last season.
Yeah.
And they provided. Like
And
he earned his paycheck last season in my book.
Peter's birthdays have caused drama. Like Peter was always in the mix. And you're telling me that fucker can't be offered a dime and is being asked to work for free on a show that he has been on for an entire decade of his life? Like, I'm sorry. I'm
That's
like
insulting and fucked up. Let's fucking ride.
Let's ride till dawn. That is crazy to me. And
That's
just shows
so
you
exploitative
TV
and
is
so fucked up. And it truly it opened my. I was like, you know why this season actually was kind of floppish is because they're operating under this like feast or famine mentality, not a mentality of abundance. Like they should have been giving. Everyone should have gotten a bonus after last season. No. They should have given them all raises, offered people good money to come back. If you pay people well, they're down to play fucking ball. And like, if you paid these cast members really, really well and said like, we've got to get into it and figure out how we're going to give them the goods this season. And like everyone's feeling valued, fairly compensated and like considered. Because you know they're going to get a season 12. There's no world in which at least one more season. Like when Sandoval happened, if you have any sense of the biz, but like even their reps had to have known like they will certainly get a new season and that season will do really well just from a numbers perspective, enough to get another season. Like that's guaranteed. So like let's pay these people, blow it out of the water, and then guarantee ourselves like a couple more seasons. And people will act like crazy also if they're making bank. Like it's just like a numbers thing.
They can't.
So that mindset, truly, I was like, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it was kind of I respected her for
I was like,
she said the truth.
I was like, that was really powerful.
Because at the end of the day, the people that are making the real money are Andy Cohen and Lisa Vanderpump and the execs and like Scott Baskin or Alex Baskin or whatever the fuck and like people at Comcast or NBC Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're making the money. Time to go on strike.
You're telling me you could not even just be like, we'll give him
you can't give the boyfriend of the star, the centerpiece of this entire phenomenon. You can't give him $1,000 like per diem.
You can't even just give him like $5,000 to film for 2 days.
No,
that's insane. That's insane.
And bring Peter back.
Justice for Peter. Also, like, stop making them go to San Francisco and stay at the Wharf Hotel. Which that was really fucked up.
Simon stayed at.
I know.
I forgot
and
to say
he said it was dark.
He
right?
said he literally came home a day early.
Yeah.
He didn't even.
That hotel is like a suicide. It's the last stop before the fucking bridge.
He was supposed to come on the next day and he rented a car and he spent all day coming home.
I don't fucking blame him. As soon as I saw those brick walls, I was like, this is a crisis.
Like the Octagon? The Argonaut. Bleep that out. So then they roll the tapes. And Andy's like, well, we're going to show you guys something we've never done before. We're going to have you watch the last 5 minutes of this.
Well, they go, Katie and Schwartz first have a little moment.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, Schwartz, is Katie the one that got away? And then Schwartz like cries, which I was like, this was meaningful. This is like the most kind he's ever been to Katie in this moment. And I was like, that's sweet that they have this. And
then it ends with her going, I can't wait to meet your girlfriend.
Then they roll the tape.
Schwartz got so hard when that happened.
I know. He was like, carp lips.
Roll the tape. And as they're rolling, you see Scheana being like,
Scheana becomes mute. They ended the 5 minutes of tape, and Scheana just has like a permanent white streak in her hair.
it's like Poltergeist. She's gone through something.
James crying.
Yeah, everyone's
weeping.
crying.
Sando trying to make himself cry. He's going
Mhm.
like this.
He's going, Lisa.
Lisa's like,
Ariana's like, Andy's like, why didn't you just agree to have this conversation with Sandoval and Cameron? She goes, because I didn't want this to be another Miami conversation like he had with Dodie in Miami. And then we cut back to him being like, I thought we were gonna have my children. And I was like, damn, that's
real.
That's real. She was like,
but also, sorry to interrupt. Wasn't that more of like a Dodie coup than a Sandoval coup, that conversation? Like Dodie wanted that more than he wanted that.
Yeah, but
she was initiating that.
I know, but whatever, he probably knew there was still some like doubters out there being like, he's a bad guy, he cheated on Kristen at the time, you know? And like,
yeah.
So he was probably trying to quiet all the haters being like, I love you.
We're gonna end up together.
We're gonna end up together. And Ariana was like, I didn't want him to do that with me.
Yeah.
But then they end up having kind of a real combo. And I was kind of shook.
I had chills. She goes, you proved me exactly right. You went the second the camera, like, you don't get what you want, you go and like talk shit about me to everyone. And I was like, this is what I crave from her. It's just like honoring and being real.
But they ended up being able to have an actual conversation that wasn't like explosive, like you're a dog murderer, like all, you know. She actually was like, I mean, she was upset, but like she was letting him talk. She was responding to him. She still wasn't looking at him, but that's fine. But they were, and he goes, you know me, Ariana, you know that and she goes, I don't.
He goes, you said so much shit about me. And it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, what? She goes, what would you expect me to say about you?
Yeah.
I love him being like, she talked mad shit about me. It's unfair after I literally fucked Raquel for 7 months.
In their house.
She goes, you brought a person into our lives and this bitch has to talk about me all the time. Which is true. Raquel literally started a podcast to just speak on Ariana.
I know. I love that. And then she goes, and he says something. He says like,
I feel really bad about that.
And
I was like, no, you don't.
He goes, I would have come and talked to you at that. And she goes, and she's crying. And she goes, oh, no, you wouldn't. And she goes, when we got back from San Francisco, I was sitting in the other room. I was in the kitchen doing things and you were eating takeout. And we were literally 5 feet apart. And she goes, and by the way, that was the only time that's ever happened in this whole thing where we were cohabitating and like
ran
in the
into
same
each other.
space. And she goes, and you could have there been like, can we talk right here with the cameras off? And you didn't. She goes, you wanted the cameras there. Anytime other than that. And he goes, no, you know me, Ariana. And she goes, I don't. She goes, I literally don't know you. And she goes, that's the whole point. You lied to me and made me shattered this entire history we had together of like this person I was sharing a life with. And I don't know you. And she goes, and I just want you to go away.
He's really so dumb. Like, he truly no comprende.
I love when she goes, and now this bitch is talking about me all the time.
Bitch has to talk about me all the time. And you did that. And he goes, I know I'm sad about them. I'm sorry for that. And she goes, I'm going to sit and like talk with you with your fake crying. And he goes, it's not fake crying if there are tears coming out. I was like, it is, because you can make yourself cry. You're an actor. I've literally seen you clenching your butthole trying to squeeze out some tears. He goes, I'm emotional, man. I'm an emotional guy. And Andy's like, well, why didn't you just say I'm going to do it for the show? Like, talk to Sandoval. And she goes, I could have done it for the show, but that wouldn't be real. It's not how I really felt in that moment. And they cut back to season 9, which I was like,
I know. Dark
fucking times. Remembering feeling so betrayed. That was my ultimate betrayal. Season 9, that reunion.
Yeah.
Why was Katie dressed like Jessica Rabbit?
I don't know.
She had gloves. She had satin gloves.
She had fisting gloves on.
Lala was on Zoom.
Yeah, that was weird.
Lala was like, she's like, it's so hurt that Ariana got better treatment. Everyone said, like, you lose him how you got him. And it's like, well, I mean.
Lisa goes, a leopard doesn't change its spots.
And I was like, the producers of Bravo are wrong to like pit them all against each other and act like everyone, like they're coming from such a place of like, you're all disposable. So you have to like devour each other in order to make this work. And it's such a backwards way of approaching it. If the producer said, here's an insane bonus, you're all fucking mega stars, everyone's obsessed with you and they love you, and they love you the most. People, they would do it themselves.
I know.
You gotta gas them up a little bit.
No more gassing. The 90s are over. Then Scheana's like,
You know, it's just like, I just thought it was like really hard because she's like, I would see Ariana and Sandoval together being like the most like, they were like hostile and like bickering. And then she goes, and then I would see them at like a music festival, like
all over each other. And then Sandoval goes from weeping, crying, being like, Ariana, I love you. And then he goes, yeah, we were rolling at a music festival. I was like, you bitch.
You're a son of a bitch.
He was basically saying the only reason they were all over, like, it's
because they were on drugs.
It all comes back to him. Like, it's all about him in the end. It's all him being like, I didn't get to fuck.
Yeah.
You drove me
Being
straight
like,
into Raquel's
everything was
puss.
a lie. Like, our relationship was fucked up. So I had no choice but to have a 7-month affair with someone you considered your best friend who would start a podcast and talk about you nonstop.
I love that. We were rolling on a music. I was like, whoa, they're saying that.
Lala and Ariana are like having words, and like Lala does her whole like it's not fair thing, blah blah blah, and then Ariana says something I had to disagree with a bit. She goes, me walking away from that conversation was a lot more interesting than me having it. And I was like, it actually like wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Like,
I would have liked to see it.
Low key, like it was absolutely not more interesting. Watching you go to Applebee's.
Yeah, I want to see
Watching you like get an Uber and get in it was absolutely not interesting at all.
I was like, we're in San Francisco.
I know.
We need to like.
You need to go to the place of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
And then Ariana goes, was that not a better ending to your season to give you another season for another paycheck? And I was like, okay, girl.
And then wait, we forgot too when Sandoval's at the end he apologized to Ariana and she's just kind of like is like whatever, and he goes, and I wish you the best in life. And he goes, and our lawyer is like, we'll be in touch, we'll figure this out. I was like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. You're such a dummy.
Stop. He goes, you know what? I hear you. You want space. You want me to give you space. You want to be done. So I'll honor that. And I was like, smash cut to him, like still refusing to move out of this house, like dragging this house to court and like then, never letting it go.
And then both of them being
lawyers.
Sued.
I love also, and I just wish you the best. It's like, why are you saying you don't wish her the best?
And then both of you both being sued by Raquel for revenge porn, and then the courts approving Raquel to keep suing, which they just did.
Oh my god,
they're linked. These
Ariana
two
is literally like
stuck in the middle with you.
Lala goes, had I not spoken my mind, it would have ended with you walking out the door. And I was like, that's true.
It's true.
Fascinating conversation. I also was like, Lala tries to come for Katie again. And she's like, Katie used to said that Ariana and Tom weren't honest about their relationship, blah, blah, blah.
They show the clip from like season 8 or 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
And Katie, you do see the ciabatta panic. The ciabatta starts slipping away and you see Bins going, and she goes, no. She goes,
the rolls start going up in flame. She's like, she's envisioning just like rolls getting golden brown in the oven, but then all of a sudden they start to like burn and turn black. And she goes, no, stop acting like I'm lying. Stop acting like I'm lying. I don't know.
That was all she said. She goes, Ariana knew everything I said. She goes, no. She starts panicking, and I was like, and you can tell Ariana's like, it's okay.
It's cool.
We're linked, girl.
It's
and sandwiches.
May 22nd.
You've got your little sandwiches, Chica.
But also Katie, I don't think she lies. I think she's just so boring that they cut her things she says out of the show because they only want to see her like raging. Lies, no empathy.
She goes,
why they leave me on the cutting floor?
Seeing it was the most like
she's smelling
alive.
the bread baking. She's like, ooh, a loaf of sourdough in the oven. She's imagining like the sourdough rising and a golden brown crust developing, but then all of a sudden you hear Lala's voice being like, And you know that you said it, girl. And
Yeah.
the sourdough roll starts to blacken and curdle in on itself.
And then it's the most active she's been in all season. Just her head suddenly going. She goes, no. She goes, no, you're wrong. She goes,
Stop
I
acting
never
like I'm
lied.
lying.
I never
Don't
lied.
do that to me.
Don't say that to me. I never lied. And then
Lala
Lisa,
tries to walk off.
yeah, she goes, can we all just be real right now? And I was
Be
like,
done. I'm done. I could sit down.
Lisa goes, why? What are you doing, Lala? And then Ariana is just like, she starts crying at one point and she's like, it's really hard. And then Lisa goes, then why don't you leave, darling?
Andy does make it. He goes, Lisa, you left Beverly Hills. Like, what was that about?
And she goes, well, it's simply I didn't want to face them again at the reunion. I didn't want to see these people again in my life. She goes, so that's why I didn't go to that reunion.
She's when you go to a reunion you go with the intention to reunite.
I didn't want to
did not want to be reunited. This
she
is when
bas-
she came alive.
She basically says to Ariana, like,
Sometimes it's okay to walk away. And I don't think Ariana didn't show up. She did. She faced her mistress and her ex. And I was like, all right.
and then she goes, but Ariana, I do ask of you to maybe when I text you sometimes that you won't just ignore me and feel like you're apart from everyone.
She literally says, like, respond to your text, like, girl. And to that I say, yeah,
Real.
respond to your text.
But I was also like, I get that.
I know. I do the same thing.
You what?
Like, don't respond to texts
You don't?
and isolate.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I respond to your text. We work together.
But I'm on the opposite end where I'm like, text me back.
Ariana gets her hair stuck on Princess
yeah.
Kate's earring.
And Andy comes over because he thinks they're crying, but Ariana's like, no, my.
And then it was a moment of levity. It saved her.
And then Schwartz goes,
Can I just say really quick, like, man, I love you guys. You guys are like my family. Yeah, I love you guys despite everything.
He's back in a place of like the foggy bridge of San Francisco.
He's Ariana, like, I hope one day we can, and even I feel that way about you. And she nods. And then James goes, yeah, I feel the same way. You're all my fam.
I love you, mates. And he goes, Lala, do you feel like you put your friendship with Katie Ariana in the ER from the statements you made? And she goes, yeah, and I'm okay with that.
All right.
Chic.
Fair.
He goes, Scheana, how do you feel? And she goes, like it's been really hard for me. And then just like cries and cries, said some blabbery things.
And Andy goes, we're going to do something different today. We celebrate with a cocktail of sorts and a toast. But today we're going to toast with actual toast. Something about her.
I literally did not know what he meant at first. And I was like, why the fuck are they toasting with a fucking piece of toast?
And then he gives everyone and then he goes, and presenting it today, Kyle, Chan, and Ann. And I was like, and Ann comes out and Sandoval goes up to Ann and he goes, and he like kind of awkwardly taps her and he goes, Ann, you're going to clean up, right? After all the food. I'm just kidding. And he touches her and Ann goes, yeah. I was like, so God. You can clean up after this, right?
I'm just kidding.
I went.
His like inability to just be a normal human being, shonking.
Then they toast with the most.
They all shove their sandwiches together and gobble them down. I was like eagle-eyed trying to see whose bread was like too tough.
And then it starts rolling credits, but it's like B-roll of them all leaving the set. And like Scheana's like, Brock goes, what's wrong? He's a babe. What's wrong? You still look sad. And she goes, I feel like she's still mad at me.
I feel like I didn't do enough.
I feel like Ariana's still mad at me.
Yeah, she is, bitch.
She's still really bad.
And they go backstage and Ariana and Katie like book it immediately out. Ariana's a giant like sarcophagus she's wheeling and they fucking flee.
They get the fuck out.
Sandoval walks out in his full.
He goes, Lala, you're fucking amazing, man. You're amazing. I was like, good God. And then Lala was like, still upset.
She's like in the changing, being like,
she goes, I'm creating life and I don't get to walk off the stage. Like, shut up. My God.
oh, she's pregnant?
Yeah, just fucking shut up.
Scheana.
She's still mad.
Can one pregnant person just be pregnant and shut the fuck up about it? Like, good God. Like, just shut up. Shut up.
They did.
Just have a fucking silent pregnancy, for God's sake.
Like Katie
Just like
Holmes.
just shut the fuck up. God, you act like no one's ever gotten pregnant before. My God, I've had enough. Just be fucking quiet. Just grow a baby, have a baby, and shut the fuck up. My God. I was like, Scheana, you need therapy
Yeah.
yesterday.
You need to go to the Meadows.
She does need to check in.
It's time to check in.
It's time to have Scheana. They should do a spin-off show of Scheana at the Meadows.
Scheana at the asylum.
I love Scheana. How do you feel? Like it's been really hard for me specifically because
It's the hardest.
It's the hardest thing that Sheena's ever been through.
I'm like, again, there are 2 wars going on in the world. Our country is in crisis. But
Sheena is still battling.
Should we shout out to our cult girlies?
Honestly, yeah, I think we should. Pia from Australia. Alex Delisle. Makeup Fresh. GG Brew Brew. Private Shots. Rachel in Dublin. Like Sophie from Cleveland.
Sophie is so from Cleveland.
Fucking Emily Vaughn. Like she
Emily
hates
Vaughn.
me. Mr. Ryan and Mr. Jillian.
She's mad at me too.
Gina Sapienza.
Gina's always been so mad at me.
Fucking hates
She
me.
hates me.
Sarah Elizabeth from Boston.
Sarah's really mad.
Like Lucy from London.
Lucy
I'm never
from
doing
London
it up.
is so mad at me.
Brooke Johansson.
Bridget Johansson.
Don't even mention Lilia Farrell.
No, don't even say her name.
Rachel Knight.
Oh
like,
God, not Rachel.
Not even the name
No,
Rachel. Like
I
it's
can't
really
even hear
fucked
anyone
up.
named Rachel. I'm like, oh my God, please don't say her name's Rachel.
Oh my God, Gerd, Queen of Brooklyn. Like, are you talking about me? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Brittany Ryan Weiss.
No.
Dilly McMillie.
Dilly.
Bridget Wasowski.
Sowski.
Lady Swan, but
Just
just gives no
fucks.
fuck. Like,
Do you
why
really-
don't you give a fuck? You
Give
like
a
don't
fuck
give a
about me.
fuck
I give a
about
fuck
me.
about you all the time.
Jessica Hernandez.
Jessica Hernandez.
Malzatov from New
Malzatov.
Rochelle. Mary. Mike Earhart.
Mike Earhart.
Sharon Baum, realtor. Where's my house?
Yeah. Why haven't you sold me anything?
Timothy Shield.
Timothy Shield.
Rogue Stanley. Matthew Thomas.
Matthew Thomas.
Owsley Robinson from Los
Owsley.
Angeles.
Okay, I'm from Los Angeles too. Why am I not from Los Angeles and you're the only one from Los Angeles?
Like Cheeseburger Babe.
Yeah, cheeseburger.
Mariah Kay from
Mariah
LLC. Kathy West.
Kathy, I'm from East.
Kit Moore.
Keep more.
Hillary from Chicago. Rub it in. Orlando. Patron of the farts.
Patron
That's
of the
fucking
farts.
rude. David from Switzerland.
Okay, neutral.
Nick Sedaris.
Sedaris.
Emily.
Emily.
Kim Lucas.
Kim Lucas.
Jenny from Minneapolis. RJ.
RJ.
Jeffrey
Pradama. Why is your name said 3 times?
Like,
Guys, buy tickets to our tour are on sale now and listen to Once Upon a Time in Nashville.
listen to Once Upon a Time in Nashville. Like, please.
Bye, love and light.
Bye.